Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day everybody, morning vibes, everybody around the world. Welcome to our statistic course. Today we are going to talk about data analysis experiment and control class for the thesis with SPSS. So we can follow the guide here. There will be 5 steps and you can follow one by one. Just follow the instructions carefully, step by step. There will be 2 parts of video talking about data analysis, experiment, and control class. Okay, the first will answer the research question number 1, and the second video will answer the research question number 2. Okay, first of all, we are going to talk about basic concepts of the research. We have the thesis title here, The Effect of Problem-Based Learning, PBL, learning model, on student learning outcomes in English subjects. Okay. And we have the material here, genre text. The formulation of the problems, number 1. To what extent does the problem-based learning or PBL model affect student learning outcomes in English subjects, genre text, material? And the research question number 2, is there any difference in student learning outcomes in English subjects, genre text, material between problem-based learning, PBL, and conventional learning models? So the research question, the research methods here, yeah, the research design use a quasi-experimental. Collected data by using tests. In this case, pre-test and post-test in the experimental class and control class. And then the experimental class applies the PBL learning model, while the control class applies the conventional learning model. Okay, we have the research data analysis here. Number 1, we are going to analyze the descriptive analysis. After that, we will go to normality test, and to answer the question number 1, we are going to apply per sample t-test with the note if the data is normal. But if the data is not normal, we will use Wilcoxon's test. And then the next, we will do homogeneity test, yeah, to answer the question number 2, yeah. So in order to answer the question number 2, we will implement independent sample t-test. Of course, if the data is normal. But if the data is not normal, we are going to use Mann-Whitney test. Okay. The basic concepts of descriptive analysis here. The descriptive statistical analysis is useful for describing and describe research data, including the amount of data, just like maximum score, minimum score, average scores, and the others. Okay, we have here result of descriptive analysis with SPSS. Okay, we practice this one first, yeah, in order to find descriptive analysis. We have here the data of Excel. Yeah, the data of Excel, we have experiment class, PBL, and control class conventional model. We have pretest here, the scores here from 57 until 78 for pretest, and post-test 88 until 86. This one for experiment class using PBL model. For the conventional model, the pretest here, yeah, from 68 until 85, and from 60 for the post test in the implementations of conventional model, yeah, 68 until 88. Okay, we start from here, SPSS, yeah. We have two data view and variable view. So we start here with typing the column of name here, exper here, experiment, yeah. And then on the label here we type pre-test experiment. And then we type again for the column number 2, post exper. This one stands for post test experiment. And then for the label here, we type post test experiment. Okay, the other we just leave it default. And then pre-control, okay. And then the label we just type pre-test. Okay, pre-test control. This one pre-test control class, yeah. And post control, and then the label we type post test control. The other we just leave it default. For the decimal we choose 0, yeah. We choose 0 here because our data in Excel file, yeah, our data in Excel file we do not have decimals here. Okay, we back to SPSS again. We go to data view. We have pre-experiment, post-experiment, pre-control, post-control. Okay, we just go to Excel file, and then Excel file here, yeah. We just copy here the data from pre-test until pre-test, post-test PBL model until pre-test, post-test conventional model. We just copy here and then we paste it in data view. Start from here, yeah, the first column in pre-experiment and then paste. Okay. Here we are going to do, yeah, based on the recent data analysis, descriptive analysis first. We click analyze, descriptive statistics, and then descriptives. Okay. The dialog box on the left, pretest, move it to variable dialog box on the right. Okay, one by one, from PBL model until conventional model, yeah, pretest, post-test. And then options, yeah, okay, we just continue and then click. Okay, this one the result same, yeah. We just copy it, this one, to this result of data analysis with SPSS, yeah, minimum, maximum score, mean, and then standard deviations. Okay, because we have already done the descriptive analysis, we go to normality test. Okay, the next we go to normality test, yeah, after we have already got the result of descriptive analysis. Variable view here, we type here result, and then we type here learning outcome result. Okay, and then the decimal, of course, we set it to become 0, and then we type here class, and we type the label class, and the value here. Okay, We start again one by one, yeah, the value. How to type the value? Just we start from number 1. We type pretest experiment PPL, and then add, and then what is number 2? Post test experiment PPL. And then about number 3, pretest control conventional. And then the last, number 4, we type post test control conventional. Click OK. Okay. We go to data view. We have here result and then class. And then in order to fill SPSS, yeah, the column result and class, we go to Excel file here. Yeah, Excel file here. We do it one by one. We start from pretest. We copy it, yeah, and then we go to SPSS. Put it here, and then paste. And then class, we have the code for the class, yeah. Pretest PPL model, the code is 1. Just copy it, okay. And then we put it in the class column next to the result scores here. Yeah, just paste it, number 1 until 22. And then for 23, we fill it with post-test result of PPL model. Okay, don't forget, yeah, PPL model. We just copy it. We move again to SPSS, yeah, and then put it under the line 23, yeah, for the result, and then just paste. We go back to Excel file again. We copy the code for the post-test PPL model, yeah, the code for PPL model. Oh, we copy, and then we go back to SPSS. Okay, just continue. Okay, good. We got it for post-test experiment PPL, and then we go to Excel file again to take the data for pretest conventional model. We just copy it for one line, pretest only, yeah, conventional model, and then we go to SPSS, just paste it. Okay, we paste it, and then we go to the next, the code for pretest PPL model. We copy it and we paste it. Yeah, in SPSS. We paste it here. It's already done. And the last, on the line 67, we go to Excel file again to take post-test score for conventional model. We copy it, okay, and then we go to the line 67 and then paste it. And the last, we need the data for the coding for post-test of conventional model. Just copy it, and then we go to SPSS, and then put the last model in the column 67 here for the line for the class. Okay, and now we do the analysis for normality test. We go to descriptive, yeah, click analyze, and then we click descriptive statistic, click explore, yeah. And then learning outcome on the dialog box. In the dialog box on the left, we send it to the dependent list of dialog box on the right. And then class factor list, class on the dialog box on the left, we send it to factor list dialog box on the right. And then we click plots. Normality plots with test. Okay, we click continue. And then we click OK. We are waiting for the results. Yeah. Okay, we got the result. We have two output here. Three output for normality test. But we focus on the last output. This one the last output here. Okay. From the pre-test PBL, post-test PBL, Shapiro-Wilk Shapiro-Wilk here, the significance value is more than 0.05. So all the data distribute normally. So we have the plot here. The plot also show this one that the data distribute normally because the data spread next to or along the line of diagonal line. So we can conclude that the data distribute normally. Okay, because we have the result here 0.250, 0.291, 0.591, and 0.396. All of them is more than 0.05. So it can be interpreted that the data distribute normally. Okay. So here we have already got the result, the normality test. Here I have already moved the data to the PDF file. The data distribute normally. We choose Shapiro-Wilk because the participants only 22. If the participants more than 50, we use Kolmogorov-Smirnov. But if the participant is under 50, we use Shapiro-Wilk. And from the result of normality test, it shows that all the data distribute normally. Because of that, we can go to the next Here, per sample t-test because the data distribute normally. Okay, so we have already got the research data analysis here. Descriptive analysis, we have already done it and we have already got the data. And normality test, it proves that the data distribute normally. Because of that, we can go to the next per sample t-test because the data distribute normally. So we do not use Wilcoxon text we cross it here, and we are able to go to per sample t-test. Okay, we go to SPSS analysis We go to analyze. We have already got the data here. We go to analyze and then compare means, and then we go to per sample t-test. So we have the dialog box on the left, pre-test experiment. We just send this data to the dialog box per variables, variable 1 on the right. And then we move post-test experiment of PBL model. We move it to per variables, variable 2 on the dialog box on the right. Just click it. Yeah. And then we go to pretest control. Yeah, for conventional model on the right, on the left, and then we send it to the dialog box on the right, especially in variable one. We click it. Yeah, good. The next we go to post-test control. This one for conventional model, yeah. We send it to the pair variables dialog box on the right, especially for variable 2. Okay. We check the options already. Confidence interval percentage, 95%. And then we click OK. Yeah. We are waiting for the result, yeah. The output here. We have 3 output here. And then we focus on the significant details. Significant detail here, yeah. 0.000. Yeah. So we can have the discussions for pair sample t-test basic concept here. Number 1, the pair sample t-test is used to determine whether there is a difference in the mean of 2 pair samples. Number 2, the requirements in the pair sample t-test are data with normal distributions. Okay, and number 3, for homogeneous data variant is not a requirement in the pair sample t-test. So we do not need to do homogeneity test in pair sample t-test. Okay, so here the purpose of the implementation of pair sample t-test in this study was to answer the problem formulation, yeah. To what extent yeah, does the problem-based learning or PBL model affect student learning outcomes in English subjects, genre text material? Okay. To answer the formulation of the problem, the pair sample t-test was carried out on the experimental class pretest data with the experimental class post-test PBL model. Then the control class pretest data with control class post-test data or conventional model. So we have the result here, yeah. The result of pair sample t-test here, significant details here 0.000. Yeah. So we have the pair sample t-test interpretations here, yeah. Based on the output of pair 1, the value of significant details 0.00 is less than 0.05. So it can be concluded that there is a difference in the average student learning outcomes for the pre-test experimental class and post-test experimental class, in this case PBL model. So based on the output of pair 2, the value of significant details of this one, it is found that 0.00 is less than 0.05. So it can be concluded that there is a difference in the average student learning outcomes for the pre-test control class and the post-test control class conventional model. So we can draw conclusions that based on the discussions of the output of pair 1, it can be concluded that there is an effect, yeah, of the problem-based learning PBL learning model on student learning outcomes in English subjects, genre text material. So we can see here descriptive statistic result pair sample statistic, yeah, taken from this one, from SPSS, the first output here, pair sample statistics. So from here we can see that the mean of pretest experiment 68.77, and there is the increase of score, yeah, from 68.77 become 86.55. So here the implementations of PBL model or problem-based learning give contributions to the improvement of student English learning outcome. So it does give the answers of research question number 1 ya, whether problem-based learning give influence or effect on the increase of student English learning outcome. So from here, yeah, we can see that there is improvement. So it is suggested that PBL, problem-based learning, is able to be implemented in English learning teaching, English teaching learning, so that it can upgrade the students' achievement, especially English learning outcome. Okay, thank you very much. This video, part 1, we have already talked about how the research data analysis is conducted. The first we have to find the descriptive analysis, and then normality test, and then variable t-test in order to answer the first questions or the first research problems in thesis or skripsi. Okay, so that's all for today, and see you in the next video. The next video we are going to talk about the analysis of research data in order to answer the questions number 2. Okay, we are going to do the analysis using homogeneity test, normality test, and then we go to independent sample t-test to find is there any significant difference between the implementations of problem-based learning and conventional model. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your attention and your participation. See you in the next video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.